What is the worst minikit in each and every LEGO game? It's a simple question with a lot of answers. Ones that I source not just from myself, but from other creators, speedrunners, my own comment section, and Reddit. All of these responses, plus a little bit of personal bias, drove me to create this list. It's not based on how bad the minikit models look or their functionality in game, but rather on what the community feels is the most annoying or nonsensical in each game. The first LEGO video game, LEGO Star Wars 1, released back in 2005, and because the game is only, 17 levels long, it's hard to find a truly offensive minikit, so instead, I chose one that as a kid I was very confused by, even though in the modern day, it barely even crosses my mind. In an alcove outside of Droid Factory, there's this weird room where all you have to do is find the R2 panels scattered around and take down the maze of shields. This kit wouldn't be that bad if it wasn't for the shields being nearly invisible. The kit itself isn't hard to grab, I just remember it being confusing, and in a game with limited options, it definitely falls near the bottom. The game's sequel, LEGO Star Wars 2, is the first game where they started to fumble bad. You've got frustrating minikits like this one on Rebel Attack, or dumb ones just out of sight like here in Cloud City. But there's one kit that I repeatedly forget every time I play the game. In Hoth Battle, there's a minikit that requires you to tow over 10 walkers within the first 2 rooms. What's so bad about this, you might ask? Well, because you're constantly shooting the rocks and probe droids to drag bombs around, you're never going to discover this on your own. The minikit arrow doesn't give a clear indication of what you're supposed to do. You just have to discover it essentially by accident. Not to mention that if you finish the kit in the second room, the detector arrow still points to the first room, making you think you're still missing something. I hate this kit, I hate it so much. Because the complete saga is just a mashup of our previous 2 entries, I wanted to do something different for this game. Sure, it added a couple new levels like Bounty Hunter Pursuit, which would have, by the way, taken the cake for worst minikit if it was in LEGO Star Wars 1, but instead, I want to try my best to find the absolute worst challenge kit in this game. A lot of you in the comments brought this kit up, and I wholeheartedly agree. We once again find ourselves inside of Droid Factory. And I've collected nearly all of my blue canisters, but I'm still missing one. I've triple checked every room. Where could it possibly be? Enough said. Completely out of view, and with no minikit detector allowed on this mode, it's a shot in the dark. Thank God for online forums. We've made it out of the Star Wars trenches, but for better or for worse. With Indiana Jones came a major minikit redesign, and to their credit, almost every kit in this game is straightforward and to the point. Besides one. This might be the most idiotically placed minikit on the entire list. The minikit is somewhere in this frame. Can you see it? No? Do you want a hint? No puzzle, no reasoning, it's just in a box that you have to break twice at the end of the level. What? Without artifact detector, how are you supposed to even know that it's here? In a level as large and sprawling as Pankot Secrets, you can't afford to be lazy like this. You go through 3 different environments and this is your final idea? Whatever, I'm moving on. The game everybody always brings up in regards to terrible minikits is of course LEGO Batman the video game. And to be fair, this game has some of the worst minikits in the entire franchise. There's the Ring the Bell 13 times kit, there's the face-off, out of sight toxic goop kit, and of course the infamous Arctic World slide kits. And these all suck, the slides especially. But here's the thing. The slides, albeit hard, at least make sense. You look at these and you go, yeah, I get it. I know what I'm supposed to do. And to be fair, it's never taken me more than 2 to 3 times max to get the slide kit. You just gotta swap characters and you're fine. For this game, I wanted to pick a more obscure one, which brings us to the Lure of the Night. In the second room of this level, you're put in a club with 2 minikits on the ground floor. One you can see right away, but the other needs a puzzle to be solved for. So after doing all the attract suit pickup things expecting a minikit to appear, you're given a helicopter. Maybe you use this to grab something high up? Nope. Maybe it's needed for the kit in the water? Nope, and now I'm just stuck and have to restart. The solution here is to fly the helicopter in front of these inconspicuous lights and turn them green, because that makes the most sense. Again, the slide's difficult, but decipherable. The lights, I don't even know what to say. LEGO Indiana Jones 2 doesn't have minikits in the traditional sense. You pick up one for every extra bonus or treasure level you complete, which made me have to think a little harder. I love every bonus level in this game as a result of how cool the level creator is, so those were safe, leaving me with the treasure levels. And while I don't really hate any of these either, I do think this comment from Chester is spot on. The Raiders vehicle level is pretty mid. Now don't get me wrong, I love the vehicle levels in this game. I think they're fun to control, I love the power-ups, and just feels good to mow everything down. Like man, when you first get in that jungle, the jungle cutter for the first time, it's peak, it's crazy, it feels great. It's maybe the best moment in the entire game. But these things were not meant for precision. Again, it's not like it's some difficult, arduous task, but it's just kind of lame. Oops, I missed a balloon and I have to wait for a minute for a power-up to reappear so I can grab it. I don't know, it's just not as good as the puzzle-oriented levels, so I'm giving it to Raiders, or I guess I'm giving it to all the other ones and not Raiders, you know what I mean. The LEGO Harry Potter franchise drastically decreased the amount of minikits found in a level by turning them into house crests, of which there are 4. And normally these are very easy to snag, in fact you do a lot of them I think by accident while you're in your casual playthrough. However, there is one in the Goblet of Fire water level that I find to be just extremely tedious for no good reason. The level itself is pretty slow, and the squids that attach themselves to your head make it all the more annoying. But the worst thing about it is the Ravenclaw crest you have to grab. There's 9 clams scattered throughout not just the background, but the foreground as well, and they're all in room 1. If you move on to room 2, you just can't go back, you have to start all over. Just the amount of them and how hard they are to see on lower graphic settings makes this a nightmare for collectible fiends. And it could have all been fixed by just allowing backtracking. Oh, and if you have the crest detector turned on, the arrows don't go away when you break a clam. They all remain in place until every clam is broken. So it's impossible to tell which one you missed. Isn't that cool? We've gone through a lot of different variations of minikits. House crests, treasure chests, whatever this is. And as a whole, the minikits themselves have a very interesting history. Not just in design, but also functionality. To find out all about the minikit as a concept, you can check out this video, The History of Minikits, in the link down below. Also down below is a link to buy my movie, The Beast of Bray Road. The people seem to love it, and I'm sure you will too. The next kit is a bit of a different one. It isn't necessarily hard to grab or nonsensical, but I'm putting it on here because of what it represents. One of the most frustrating things in a LEGO game is when you're in free play and you can't choose your character. The game forces you to play as a certain type of character. I'm not talking about when big figs are too big to fit into certain areas or whatever. I'm saying when the game forces you to play as just one specific person for one segment. And it's exactly what happens here in our game, LEGO Star Wars 3: The Clone Wars. In the level Grievous Intrigue, there's a section where you play as this tiny trashy ship and have to shoot down a bunch of solar surfers. The targeting is whack, sure, but the worst part is you can't change ships. This is what you're stuck with. The kit itself is whatever, it's pretty tolerable, but this is free play. The whole point is to be able to play as whoever I want, so why can't I? In fact, building off that same idea, minikits that require you to use one specific character's ability are also pretty abysmal. Take Pirates of the Caribbean, for example, whose worst minikit isn't just one, but a handful. It's every single one that requires Blackbeard's magic. He's the only character in the game who can open them. He only gets unlocked at the very last story level, and he costs 500,000 studs to buy. Why? Why lock minikits behind one specific ability that only one character has? Pirates is bad with this, but LEGO Batman 3, oh man, it's worse. There's actually only a single minikit in this game that falls under this category, and it's in Big Trouble Little Gotham. This is the only kit that requires Poison Ivy to get, and she's the only character who can get it. Unlocking her in itself is like a 20-minute side quest, and I'll prove it. This is me trying to unlock Poison Ivy for this one minikit with no guides or no prior knowledge outside of the fact that she is available in the Hall of Doom. This is at 1000% speed. It's so arbitrary, like, why bother? While we're on the topic of certain minikit archetypes sucking, why don't we tackle the worst offender of this? A minikit type that isn't just found in 1 or 2 games, but 5. It's the running chase sequence minikits. This refers to kits or collectibles that appear right in front of you in a head-on chase segment, such as Flatbush Gulch's sandbags in LEGO Movie 1, the Elastigirl bike segment in LEGO The Incredibles, the Gyrosphere level in Jurassic World, the Nazgul chase scene in Lord of the Rings, and then the worst offender, Magic is Might's Slytherin crest in Harry Potter years 5 through 7. It's a crest that's hidden behind a statue at the very end of the level that you have to grab while Dementors are chasing you. There's no indication it's coming up, and if you miss it, you have to play through the entire level once again. The easiest way to grab it is to drop in player 2 to have them slow down the pack of Dementors so you have enough time to go out of your way to get it, but even then, it's just a nightmare. Much like these chase sequence kits, LEGO Batman 2 DC Superheroes has one that stumped me for a long time in my casual playthrough. There's 3 statues you have to hit in order to get a minikit in the level Core Instability, with the issue being that this qualification also ends the level, so if you miss one, you could be stuck driving in circles forever, not knowing what the detector wants you to do. It's an easy kit in premise, but waiting for the statues to respawn and hitting them in the right order is a pain. Thankfully, we are now entering a brand new era where minikits really aren't that bad to grab at all. Like, our next few entries are on this list because they're easy to miss if you aren't paying attention, like in LEGO City Undercover, the level Kung Fu, where the red lanterns blend into the background a little bit too well. Or the panel you have to activate a second time in the submarine in LEGO Marvel Superheroes. This one is a little dumb since you don't really ever reuse tech panels in this game, but the minikit detector is a help here. Then you have the slingshot kit in Goblin Town of LEGO The Hobbit, which is really only difficult because sometimes your projectile gets blocked by the bridge support, or the swaying makes it harder to aim. Even Marvel Avengers Worst Kit is only bad because the level can end while you're collecting it. It's in the very last level, and you have to dig up some dirt as Squirrel Girl or some other digging character before, well, this happens. Once this section starts, you can't go back. Thankfully, these games implemented the checkpoint system, so even if a kid is at the end of a level, you're able to get back to it. The Force Awakens has a minigame you need to play for a kit that everybody, including speedrunners, told me was a nightmare. Unfortunately for you guys, I did this on my first try without knowing how hard it was, so maybe everyone in the world is just bad besides me. But yeah, I can see why this one would suck. However, just when we thought we were in the clear and TT Games had learned their lesson, we got LEGO Marvel Superheroes 2. You guys know I am a huge hater of this game. I think it's terrible, and this minikit pretty much explains my entire philosophy as to why. In the final level, there's a section where you have to crush Kang with a giant fist by using Doctor Strange's Time Stone magic. Depending on which way you rotate the stick, either the fist comes out or a minikit. Unfortunately, you don't know that there's a minikit in there, and because it takes a second to get the rotation going, even if you do go backwards, you're probably going to think nothing is in there, because nothing happens for about 3 seconds. If you know the kit is there, and you accidentally rotate the wrong way, the kit is now inaccessible, and you have to play the entire level over. Need I say more? When it comes to DC supervillains, I couldn't think of a single dumb minikit. In my head, I can't think of a single minikit from the game besides like 3. They aren't really forgettable, they just aren't that memorable because there's only 5 per stage, there's not that many. So your challenge for this video is to go down below into the comments and leave me the absolute worst LEGO DC Supervillains minikit so we can finish off this list, because I cannot think of even a single one. This leaves us with one final game to cover. LEGO Star Wars The Skywalker Saga. Much like DC Supervillains, this game kept the minikit total at 5, making it really hard to find one that stands out as objectively bad. But because I couldn't think of one, I decided to go in the comments and find this suggestion, which I agree with on being a little nonsensical, a little dumb, and just overall not a great design choice. In Senate Showdown, there's a minikit that requires you to pull 2 levers, but one of them drops a droid onto Palpatine, which has a chance to progress the level and leave the other lever and, by extension, the kit behind. There's a handful of kits in this game that are pretty unclear on how you're supposed to get them, including this one beneath Palpatine in the last section of the same level. I don't know. This game was a little confusing sometimes. I love the alternate path system throughout levels, but it can make it hard to realize what you're missing. But there you have it, that is every LEGO game's absolute worst minikit for each one, if they had them. I want to know down below if you agree or disagree with my choices on this list. I know a couple of hot takes around here, not putting these slide as LEGO Batmans that is going to rile a lot of feathers from your guys' childhood, but I stand by what I'm saying here, and I want to know if you guys agree or not. So let me know down below. Aside from that, new video next week. I have a cold, so I'm going to try to push it out before I leave for my trip, but if I don't get it out, I apologize, but I don't know. You guys don't care. It'll come eventually. Don't worry about it. Anyways, see you next week or in 2. Goodbye.